Testing, testing. Now you guys can hear me, right? Yeah, am I good? I think I'm good. Am I good? Can you check, darling? Can you hear me? Can you actually hear me? Turn your volume. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, as I was talking earlier and you guys couldn't hear me. I was just wishing all the single people happy Valentine's Day. You get to save a lot of money. Yeah, so my girlfriend's just laughing at me like, yup, he's right. We're going out to a fucking... Fuck, man. First of all, you have to buy a new outfit for Valentine's Day, you know? And then you gotta, like, spend money on your haircut. And then you gotta fucking get your nails and then your hair done. And you gotta bleach your asshole to make sure it's extra white, you know, for that special night. You never know when you're gonna switch turns with your lady and stuff. And then you're gonna go for for the dinner, you know. And then of course there's the present. There's the fucking present. You better have flowers, man. You're dead. If she says she doesn't care about Valentine's Day, I fucking promise you. If she's ever like, let's just stay home, baby. It's okay. Like, it's so tiring to go out to dress. It's costly, you know. I just want to stay home. I just want to watch Netflix. We'll just like stay in and just, you know, watch movies and cook together and make a nice meal or order. She don't want that shit, guys. Trust me, she don't want that shit. If you guys actually think that, like, she wants that, you're fucking stupid. So, anyways, that's what I'm doing tonight. Okay, we're gonna go to like a Michelin star restaurant. Just like another $1,000, and then, you know, $200 for the fucking luxury car to rent there, and ends up being like a $2,000, $3,000 weekend. So let's make that $2,000 back right now, guys. Okay, let's make it back right now. So Bitcoin is still doing its thing. Okay, it's doing its thing. Bitcoin is in a very nice pattern. It's been a very, very good boy. You know, it's been a very well-behaved boy lately. Have you guys seen that? For Valentine's Day, Bitcoin's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be a dirty birdie. I'm gonna be fairly well-behaved. So I decided to make like a fucking perfect lower high there. That's just waiting to be broken. You know what would be funny? If it didn't break, first of all. Okay, if it didn't break up here. Okay, and then it just started another parabolic wave down instead. That'd be funny. Okay, but what I am expecting though is a break. Maybe like 50-50 now. Like, I'm expecting some sort of pattern. I know that. Like, maybe, who knows, maybe it'll be something like that. You never know. Maybe it'll be another bearish type of flag, right? But we're looking for that next distribution phase. Distribution phase is basically just a fancy way of saying that's where you're gonna get shit on. That's where all of the people who were in long-term longs that are slowly exiting their like multi-billion-dollar positions, right? They're just distributing their profits, right? They're just taking it in multiple interviews, otherwise, or intervals. Otherwise, they'll just end up tanking the market. So the distribution phase is when a lot of the newer traders or investors, they believe the market's going to go up because there's like a relief rally, right? They don't follow the news. They don't really read enough. They're uninformed. It's dumb money. They'll like buy in a long in these areas, and it causes like a relief rally. But in the relief rally, there's just people like me, right? With me with a little bit, and then there's people with a lot. And when I say a lot, I'm talking about with high 8 figures, you know? We're talking 9 figures. They're sitting here, guys. They're sitting for the dumb money that are buying in that's causing the relief rally, right? And all these guys are just like, that's where their sell orders are, man. You're literally just selling into their profits, right? Like, you're logging into their profits. When you're buying their sell, right? So they're exiting their position or they're entering their short, right? So you're basically trying to trade against, and this is something not a lot of people even know. Like even in the first few years of trading, they're not gonna understand this, right? They don't follow social media or the trends enough like you and I after 11, 12 years, right? We understand that every rally is gonna be a fake rally. So my lady and I were having a conversation right here. Okay, right here we were having the conversation. on February like the 8th or 9th. Like, should we short at 71K? A lot of money to deploy, man. You know, like when you have a lot of capital to deploy, you're like, should I short here, right? You really think about it and you evaluate it, and we decided not to. The reason we decided not to, despite us, we would have been in massive profit now, is because back then, right, we wouldn't have known they would have dropped, first of all. And secondly, there would have been inherently a lot more risk to enter right there, because there's no proof of a distribution phase forming yet. There's no consolidation forming. So it's super risky to enter there, because all of a sudden you might be riding that massive short of yours to like, who knows, back to 79K, for example, you know, or way back up to retest even higher. We don't want to do that, right? Especially because this weekly candle, do you guys see this? The weekly candle has not closed yet. Okay, so because the weekly candle has not closed yet, for all we know, before the end of Sunday, this candle could be this one right here, it could be a huge wick, right? What if it was a huge wick that popped back up above, for example, 71K ranges, above that high, and bam, it just made a huge wick, and then all of a sudden you're like fucking trapped in a multi-million-dollar short position at the fucking bottom. So, you know, there needs to be some precautions, right, to take before you enter your next position. So this one here was called the big short number 1 that I'm sure most of you caught, because I was talking about it since the beginning of the year, right? I was talking about it for a long time. We had 3 exact short positions to enter, but only 2 of them happened, right? Because the third one happened too fast in too short of a time frame, right? The first one was on the break of the bull trap coming back down. So coming back down of that resistance was the first entry. The second entry was the break of the pattern right there. And the third one should have been right there, but it didn't happen for me because it was too low of a time frame. Okay, so that's the break there. And then it just continues down. After this break happens, it doesn't give a shit about there. Did you guys notice? Right, this break happens, doesn't give a crap about that. It just goes to the next, right? It doesn't give a crap about that either. It just goes to the next. So we have to wait till the weekly close to see if we're gonna close below this significant March 2024 high. Basically the number 1 liquidation event. I think the number 1 that happened around these ranges. Okay, that was massive. So because of that, this is the first time ever, guys, I've ever seen the opposite, by the way, the opposite of like an ascending triangle, but not a descending triangle. Do you know what I mean? Lower lows, but the same kind of highs. Like it's kind of like odd around there, but it was more like shaped like that. It was a weird structure, right? It was expanding kind of like that. So that was a really tough time for everybody, including myself. This is right after this liquidation event happened. That was when I got really motivated to get in shape. That's where like there was so much stress, man, after this March, you know, like after this period happened, that I literally lost like 50 pounds, man, like 24 kilograms in 3 fucking months. Crazy. You guys know, since I came back from Greece, so in how many days? How many days so far? So January and February. So that's 44 days. I've lost, believe it or not, I've lost 14 pounds in 44 days. It's fucking crazy. Just hitting it hard, man. So we'll wait for this week to close. Okay, we'll wait for the week to close. Go from there. See if we're gonna get a, like, imagine for a moment you entered a short here and then it wicked back up. Oh man, you would have the worst time of your life. So let's chill and wait. Bitcoin hasn't done anything. It's not going to do anything for a while, probably. I think it's probably going to retest 71K, you know, maybe higher, maybe the top of here, 73.5K. But either way, it's not moving. Like this here, guys, this is the roadblock. This is the roadblock that's going to be, but that's going to shatter. It's going to shatter eventually. And once it does, like, it's done. And also keep in mind that if you look further back, like Look at this cluster that we're in right now. This is a major cluster. But just wait till we clear this cluster down there. We're probably gonna, like, this is my opinion, okay guys? I think we're gonna do something here. Right in this zone. Right around here, in this, somewhere in this zone, to consolidate. And then we're gonna smash the fuck down. Like, it's gonna smash. It's gonna break. It's gonna come to here, right? And eventually, it's gonna make one last consolidation, right? One last drop. So this was the first big drop. I think the second big drop will be here. And I think the third big drop will be somewhere. Ignore the time frame. I'm just giving you an idea of the ranges. The third big drop will be here. And then we'll make like one last capitulation sometime. I'm going to guess, like, who knows, man? But it'll be in this range somewhere. Like in this, do you guys see this range? Like somewhere there. One last dip. You guys have to, this is going to be one of the biggest bull runs that you will ever see in your life. I promise you, this next one. It's going to be bigger than, like, it's going to be way bigger than the 2024. I promise you that. Or sorry, like this previous one. Way bigger than that because of regulation, guys. Regulation is playing a pivotal part right now of how it's shaping. So expect a really big bull market year. And yeah, I'm so excited. I've never been this excited in a long time again. It's just like that. You know, I'm sure you guys would all agree with me when we're like, we didn't really have the best bull market, right? We had a shitty one compared to 2017, 2021. But imagine if you had a redo. You could just, like, you know, redo it one more time. And it's only like 10 months away where you get another chance to, like, potentially just smash the market and make something crazy. Instead of for the past, you know, like, we were stressing for the past like 2 months about, is this the bear market or not? Now that we know so far into it, like later, you know, it took a lot of time to realize it was a bear market for many people. Now that we're so far into that and spent time trying to realize it's the bear market, we're so much closer to it being finishing and so much closer to the beginning of a possible bull market, okay? So just chill, guys. Let's look at some coins. CLOU is a fucking monster. Last night I was pissed. I was pissed because it was like I was just busy. Like I wasn't really looking at the market. It was like 2 in the morning, and I was pissed off because I thought that this was making a fifth in there, right? And I slept through that. So I was pissed that I remember I said that this is most likely making a 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4, then the 5. Well, that's the 5 right up there, right? The 5 was made. But now that we have a bigger structure, I'm very confused about it. Power is one of the shittiest coins to trade, guys. Stay away, stay the fuck away from Power. I was thinking of a bigger swear that would fit the emphasis on to stay away. But just please stay away from Power. It's one of those coins where, like, man, you will get fucked trading it. You know what I mean? Look at this shit, guys. 14% up. Like, stay away from it, man. Really, please. So let's review the coins from yesterday. CLO first. We were there. So this coin is incredibly parabolic. It's very difficult to predict or to even guess what this is. But I would have to guess that this is a third wave. That's happening up there. Okay, I'll explain why. Okay, I'll explain why. 1, 2. Okay, actually, when you count it, it might even be this. Okay, this is now 3, and this is 4, and that's 5. This makes more sense. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense now. The reason for that is because this is now an A, B, C. Do you guys notice the separation of the 3? A, B, C up there? And then do you notice this right here? It makes into a 5 wave. See the 5 wave? So because that breaks into a 3, right? And that's a 5, well, what does that mean, guys, right? So the last one, it's breaking into whatever X, and then 3, 5. So what is that? A 5, 3, 5, right? So what is that? That's an ABC figuration, right? So that's an ABC for a flat, okay? So that's an ABC configuration. Therefore, this must be a third wave. Huh. Interesting if that's a third wave. Let's see, based off of fib. It is a third wave, and it is bigger than a 1-to-1. So, I missed it. You probably missed it as well. It happened a little bit too early. 10% drop, bigger than 1-to-1. 5 very clear waves, actually. Did we just find ourselves a gem? Right, guys? Whoops. I think we found ourselves a gem just now. We found ourselves a coin that is in wave 3. That's beginning wave 4. So we found literally like a gem of gems. So do you guys see how that was difficult to count? Right? This one's going to throw everyone off, including me. It's going to throw everyone off. But let me give you guys a good Elliott wave tip. A really good Elliott wave tip is if you count 5 fractals, okay? You count 5 like this, right? You count 5. You have counted 5, okay? And then you get one stupid wave like this, right? And then you get a higher break than the current high right here, right? Most people would be like, wow, this guy right here, that guy right there, that's the correction. This must be a new wave. No. Okay, if this wave happens to be very small, clearly it's not a corrective wave. Also, if one breaks up almost immediately higher than the higher high, it's an automatic, okay, flat of some sort. Sometimes you can get an ABC flat like this, like a ABC, where this is now, oh, sorry. I'm wrong way. Where it goes A, and then B is higher than there. And this is where wave 1 starts, right? Sometimes you can even have like an A, B, C, D, E that goes up, you know? And A, B, C, these are the worst. Like they correct upwards like that. So let me give you an example of the worst coins to ever trade, because they will fuck you up like 90% of the time, and then all of a sudden, okay, so now that's wave, like let's just say this is wave 3. Okay, this is wave 3, guys. Okay, actually I'll show you guys the most fucked up pattern that you will ever see in crypto. Okay, from Elliott wave. So you have a normal wave 1, and then you have a wave 2, right? Like you have a normal ABC for wave 2, okay? And then you have a wave 3. I'm sure that you guys have seen this once or twice. And if you have seen it, consider yourself very, very lucky if you didn't lose a lot of money, okay? So then you have a normal wave 3, but then the wave 4 fucks you up. So then you attempt this short. Clearly you're gonna attempt it if it's a perfect wave 5, but you don't win it. And the reason, or you're confused because it makes an ABC like this, okay? C, okay, like that. An ABCD like that in a channel that goes upwards, okay? It goes upwards like that, and that's wave 3 or wave 4, and you're so confused. And then all of a sudden, the wave 5 goes parabolic, right? The wave 5 does something stupid. So you get an upwards correcting channel, like an upwards correcting channel. So then you keep trying to short it because you think it's a 5th wave of some sort, but you're wrong. And then you only find out later after this guy happens. And of course your stop loss has to be the top of like a channel like that. But when you guys see this pattern, it's the most brutal pattern that you will ever short in your life. And man, I've had nightmares of trading coins like that. So if you guys ever see that kind of upwards correcting, you'll know. So this is what it is. That's why I was talking about it. It was like an upwards correcting one, see? So this is called a running flat, guys. Running flat, super important to identify for Elliott wave. So now we got a perfect 4-wave structure, and unfortunately, this is when I'm like gonna get ready. Probably it's when it's gonna hit, and wave 5 is probably gonna hit tonight. I'm gonna guess by tonight it's gonna hit, and this is probably when I'll be home for dinner. so I'm gone the whole night. But that's okay, guys. I don't care about the profits. I'm not feeling bad in any way. I'm just making a joke, but I'm more so saying that I'm gonna miss out on it all tonight. So in lieu of my absence, you guys should be catching it for me. Not that it's guaranteed to happen, but if it does happen, it would be the perfect scenario. I could just see what's gonna happen. My lady and I at the Michelin star restaurant eating our fucking 35,000 course meal, pulling out our phones to trade at the table. Waitress comes and be like, not now, get the fuck out of here, okay? We are in a trade right now. That's so that's pretty much what's gonna happen today. No, I'm joking. I would never trade at the dinner table, guys. I'd always pretend I had a bad stomach ache and go to the bathroom for 20 minutes. That sounds better, you know? Make sure if you're gonna trade in public, you do it right. Because some people might think you have an addiction. So CLOU, we're gonna wait for this guy. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong about all of this. You know, maybe there's another scenario as well, okay? There's another great scenario. So another scenario that I just thought of is a better scenario. And like, maybe though, it's not guaranteed. But another scenario could be that that's just wave, like, let's say this is now 3. That's now finishing, right? So now 3 is not even done yet, right? Like, where's the 3? So this is actually a likely scenario as well, somewhere in there, A, B, C, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So keep an alert over here above that no matter what, and see how it forms as this happens. But you're going to notice that the RSI on wave 1 is like in these ranges are extremely high. Wave 3 is extremely small. So it's either the wrong time frame or we're wrong. So if you keep going up, then you finally see higher RSI on the 2 hour, right? Which seems to make more sense now. But let's see how far this guy drops. So we know that we're going to follow CLOU. We're going to put alerts up. We're going to use the sandwiching method, which is where you sandwich your alerts between it. You put alert above and below the price so you know when it's going to move. And then oh, sorry guys, I feel like such an asshole. All these places are writing me back. They're like, oh, just confirming if you're gonna come for Valentine's Day for dinner. I feel like an asshole because I just ended up reserving to like 5 different places, right? And I forgot to cancel all of them, right? So now they're all writing me back, and whatever. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do and look out for number 1, you know? So Pippin. Pippin is a very interesting coin, man. It's making a very interesting, like, that. You know, it's making that. Pippin is the most untrustworthy coin that I've traded in a long time. When you get a wick like that, like, you know, 13%, you got to be scared, man. You know, whenever that happens, you have to be very scared. What is Pippin at? In volume. 500 million. Reasonable. Okay. So, Pippin's at a major resistance. Okay, major resistance. It's also got a major support range. That white line's a major support range, as you can see. So, but it's also not a major support because a major support means it can be tight. You know, like it could be like more tight than anything and more controlled. So you can't really. This is a dangerous major support, I should call it. Dangerous because of a 13% wick that penetrated it and then came back. So this is a very dangerous coin to watch out for. But if I had to count anything, guys, I would say this is the 3rd wave that's done already. Somewhere there is a 3rd wave, I would say, because it's more clear. So I think that's a 5th wave is in the making. Either way, it's a dangerous as fuck coin. Maybe I have no idea how it's gonna play out. We'll give it some time and just go from there and just be extremely cautious. Put that in the low priority, but not high. Only CLOU is in high. And then, man, I said to my lady last night, this is probably going to be an expanding diagonal. I made a little profit shorting it at the top last night, but I exited my position because it was overnight. But I was right. I was right about the expanding diagonal that dropped 20 fucking percent. Man. Expanding diagonals are very easy to trade, you know? You know, like it's very easy when something major breaks, you know, like a major support breaks from up there, you just gotta check out the ranges, right? Like check out the ranges. But this here was a liquidity sweep, right? So you would have shorted it maybe on the breakback below here, but there's a little hunt right there for 2%. So most people would have got stopped out. So I would have put my stop up there. I would have put my stop up here, a wide stop with a low position size, right? That allows me a higher probability of winning the trade. Yeah, sure, it's a 12% stop, but what's the difference between, you know, like if you're in a $100,000 position, you know, with a like $100,000 position with like, you know, 1.2% stop, right? Like that's like say $1,200 of a loss versus a $10,000 position and a 12% stop. Same amount, same dollar amount. So I'd rather go with a smaller position and a tighter stop with a reasonable RR, right? So I won a small trade there, but nothing more than that because it was too late. It's after hours. So how you could have entered it was you would have targeted the lower channel with a very wide stop. Okay, wide stop, low position size. Okay, probably just guess somewhere like down over here to this range. That's probably say. So now your RR is 1.37. And yeah, you could make 18%. You can lose about 13%. But now you're allocating a wide swing with a low position size. But keep in mind, you cannot do this if you keep your original position size. If you always trade $10,000, you cannot trade 10,000 for this kind of swing. You have to allocate a large swing with a low position size to accommodate for the higher percentages, okay? So this guy here is now just kind of in limbo. We will follow River to see if we can make a nice long for this expanding diagonal, okay, which is most likely gonna fail. I want to call out. I want to say that I called out River yesterday, but I exited it because I was chicken shit, okay? But I did call out the ABC. I said that the ABC is most likely gonna happen, right? Like that. That's why I suggested the long down at 19.1, right? So, and now that the ABC is done, you know, you don't really want to take a long. You don't want to take a big long. You want to take a scalp long here. That's it. Okay, next. Fucking Pippin. We read over that. We're going to review. We're going to see how that plays out. Power is a piece of shit. I'm putting that on the red list. Okay, so Power gets on the shit list for the day. Okay. The reason for that is because, well, it's too much wicks. Put it that way. 13-20% wicks. Fuck that. Recall will still follow, but I think it's done its phase for now. We'll follow if it breaks a high. And take, man, another trade I missed yesterday. When I woke up, I said yesterday 12:30. I woke up and I said if it bounces again, I'll long it. And I also said I would short it if it breaks out of that pattern. Here we are. Unfortunately, this one's done. No more opportunities. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a break. I don't want to go for too long. Half an hour is like my limit today. And I'm going to scan the market. And let's go back to the Platinum group and Bear Market group later today. Thank you for joining me, Elite here. This won't happen often. It's mainly because I know most of you are probably alone on Valentine's Day. So you can join me for a stream. That's why I invited you guys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day to all the males out there that have to run some that have to take the ladies out. Good luck, guys, and we'll chat soon. Bye now.